I was sleeping one night, Friday night, and I heard a knock at the door. The policeman tells me that my 16-year-old son was in a car wreck, and I asked the other officer, I said, "Is there more?" And he said, "Yes, your son Thomas was also in the wreck, and he was also ejected from the vehicle and killed instantly." You know, the issue and the problem of underage drinking, it's not a matter of whether you're Indian or white, whether you're rich or poor, whether you live in the city or you live in a small town, and it affects everybody. To keep our kids safe, Montana parents need to keep talking. Keep talking to your kids, keep talking to their parents, keep talking to their friends, just keep talking.
Underage alcohol use is often seen as a rite of passage, particularly in high school and college. And a lot of us think, what's the big deal? I drank when I was a kid and I turned out okay. But for us Montanans, there is a better way. Today, we know that underage drinking can seriously damage the brain, which continues to develop until around age 25 and leads to increased risk of becoming alcohol dependent. The good news is that when it comes to keeping our kids safe, teens really do listen and care about what their parents think. In a recent survey, teens identified parents as the most important influence in their lives. But a lot of parents may not realize that their disapproval of underage alcohol use can be the key reason that kids choose not to drink. The state of Montana has identified 3 action points that parents can take to reduce the likelihood that our children will consume alcohol before they are of legal age. Number 1, talk to your kids about alcohol. Number 2, talk to other parents about underage drinking. And number 3, get involved in local prevention efforts.
I would say just because they've never really steered me wrong. Like, they've given me a bunch of advice, and I follow my parents' advice first just because I know that it's good and I know that it'll steer me down the right path.
They've seen what it does to, like, say their family members or one of their friends, and seen it happen to other kids and what it does to them. And
you don't think it's going to happen to you, but it can.
You can't really sugarcoat something like this. It's just got to be said, hey, I'm concerned about this, I don't want you doing this is bad.
I think the best way to talk about alcohol is in the car, because you don't have to look your parents in the eye. You want to be able to just speak your mind. You want them to just be there to listen.
Remember when we were in Butte one time and we were driving around and we were talking about alcohol and just the frustration and anger and sadness it could cause?
I think the most effective one was when my dad took me to see an accident. It was literally 3 hours after it happened, and showed me the wreckage, and I actually got to see the car, and it really made an impression on me.
Honestly, being a teenager, it's difficult talking to your parents sometimes, and you really have to, like, pound it in their brain.
I think it's just the fact that we have such a short attention span that we need to be told at least once a day. I mean, this is a fatal issue, and it's something that needs to be taken seriously and something that we need to know about.
Why do you think it's important for parents to talk to other parents about the issue of underage drinking?
Because not every parent has the same view, and that's a big thing that I don't think we realize is everybody has kids and they're parenting, but people parent in a very different way.
85% of our youth get their alcohol from either through social hosting or private parties. And they're not drinking just moderately, they're drinking dangerously.
We're dealing with a real cultural shift here in the way we're thinking about underage drinking from when I grew up. It seems like the parents want more information. They want to come together. They want to talk about this issue because it's killing our youth.
How have you brought up the subject of underage alcohol use with other parents?
My child, one of their parents, he was going to a party, and I didn't particularly care for his friend. And I went over to their house and I knocked on the door and I introduced myself. And I said, you know, I'm Michael's mom, and I just wanted to ask you if you plan on having alcohol at this party. And they did. And she kind of looked at me kind of funny, like, well, so what's the big deal? And I said, you know, I don't agree with that, and I don't want my son around that environment. And my son didn't go.
When I talk to other parents, I tell them, don't let your kids make the mistake that I made when I was young, when I got in my automobile crash because of alcohol.
How has talking to other parents helped you with your own children?
As a native Montanan and a father of 5, I've found just talking with this group adds so much strength in my message to my own kids.
I think a lot of parents are so worried about making their kids upset or having their kids be mad at them without realizing that that's part of parenthood. You know, you need to set those boundaries.
So start the conversation, don't stop talking, and continue to be vigilant in the way that you address the issue of underage drinking.
Parent Power is a terrific online resource for parents where they can go in and look at resources on how to talk to their youth about drinking, about how to become involved in local communities, and to network with other parents across the state. It's a resource that parents can go to when they have time. There are conversation starters, tips on how to talk to your youth if you suspect they're drinking. There are resources for planning parties that don't include alcohol. There's also resources for parents to talk to other parents about the dangers and consequences of underage drinking. Interested adults can get involved in Parent Power through their local community coalition work. There are great community coalitions across Montana working to curb underage drinking because we want to change the culture in Montana where youth want to come back and live here and make their lives here and raise their families here in a healthy way.
As you know, Montana is a unique blend of the past and present. Whether it's business suits or blue jeans, rodeos or Rolexes, ski slopes or the open range, people from all walks of life can find an environment here to suit their lifestyle. Our state is alive with community spirit and full of timeless treasures, and we feel privileged to call Montana's youth our greatest treasure of all. With that privilege comes responsibility, so please, talk to your kids about alcohol, talk to other parents about underage drinking, and get involved in local prevention efforts. Montana's parents are the single most powerful influence in their children's lives, and it's our responsibility to protect our state's most valuable resource, our youth. So stay connected and stay involved. Your influence stays with them even when you can't be.
(2011) underage drinking prevention. Man, sometimes you just gotta surround yourself around positive people. The people that love you. Your parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, whoever it may be, to get yourself on the right path. The path towards happiness. It's time to step up and make that change. Tonight, let's clean out our closet and start fresh.